Who are the coolest dudes on the planet?
United States veterans.
What's the coolest sport on the planet?
Pro wrestling.
And what would be the coolest podcast on the planet? That would be this one.
U.S. military vets talking pro wrestling.
This is the No Shave Man Cave. Two badass disabled vets sharing their love of pro wrestling, giving you their perspective as fans, talking about current events and matches, history of titles, and who knows what else. Let's do it.
Welcome to the No Shave Men Cave. Now your hosts, Ellie Jair and Jay Tilley.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans and sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm Ellie Jair.
I'm Jay Tilley.
Brother, I have some neck and back issues. I've been bumped around quite a bit through my life in the military. Same thing, with you and, when you were cutting your teeth running the ropes. But shout out and props to Moxley. Hope you're doing all right. We heard when he departed the show, he left on his own feet. So shout out, and I'm not going to critique or criticize anyone, but I really wish the ref would have done something a little bit different. But there was still a lot of really, really good stuff, and kudos to the champ over in AEW. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Yeah, the Moxley thing, scary. And good on him to make the call, at least I assume.
That's what it looked like.
From everything I'm getting, to make the call to switch the title. Because when he makes that first count, you can tell he counts to three and looks at Moxley like, what? And Moxley says something, then he does the move again and gets the 1, 2, 3 and switches champion. So I have a feeling Moxley knew he was hurt or concussed. And I think, watching it back, I think it's the very first hit when he dove off the ramp. When Phoenix dove off the ramp and hit Moxley, if you watch it back, Moxley's head bounces off the ground, like he doesn't brace and stuff. And when Phoenix walks up to him and grab his hand, he doesn't squeeze back. And I think right there was when it was like, uh-oh. And yeah, everybody's on the ref, but the ref didn't go squeeze his hand. So who knows what the two wrestlers, like what Mox, when he came to, said, no, I'm good. And then maybe he took that bump, that spiked pile driver, and went, oh, okay, yeah, I'm not good. Let's go ahead and flip the title real quick. So,
right.
But,
so, props to them, and we'll let's harken back to the unfortunate injury to Monet during the match with Willow, and she made the call on the fly. Shout out to her, and being able to have the wherewithal to protect herself, and move on with whatever her next step is. But I think in listening to Bully Ray do the Busted Open After Dark. Really, really interesting. And me, I've never, I've touched the ring with my hand. I've, yanked down the ropes. I've never hit a buckle. I've never, put one single step inside of a ring. But Bully made the comment, it's 50-50. 50% is the onus of the wrestler. 50% is on the ref. And, he counted the three. It's on Mox if he doesn't kick out. And, Mox was protecting himself. He wasn't physically or mentally or emotionally able to kick out. And, whatever happened, I hope, we see him back in the ring and they, quickly, and maybe not even quickly, there'd be a really cool pivot story here with Phoenix being the international champion, an international draw. That title could make its way over to AAA, be shown all over the world. And he's a very, very worthy opponent, very worthy champion, a multi-time world champion and all over. And, yeah, shit. Yeah, but it was scary, just like you said, when he hit the second inverted driver, you could tell he, made some extra effort to keep him up. And shout out to Ray. And, it was a really good, that whole show was really good from, the first match all the way through. Great commercials, too. I didn't realize all the behind-the-scenes work that was being done with Ring of Honor. And during that show, there was a lot of social media activity from NXT. So I thought that was really interesting, like very, very timely. And then we find out today, we won't get into too much WWE stuff. We'll hit that tomorrow. But unfortunately, today we saw some superstars that will be future endeavored here publicly in the next little bit. So hopefully Tony doesn't go grab everyone. That Impact gets an opportunity to cop some of those folks up and see what we can do. But man, I don't think we're going to be seeing Matt Cardona anytime soon. And with
unless he goes to AEW.
Yeah, and with LA Knight, his contract is pending. Sheamus's contract is pending.
Becky Lynch,
McIntyre, Becky Lynch. There's one other pretty decent name, and I thought it was kind of interesting because a lot of those international wrestlers, superstars, fell right in that group of time, and then boom, shakalaka. No longer will we be channeling our Fox friends on Fridays. We've got a fatty boom batty deal with USA for Friday Night SmackDown coming up. Just, cash coming in, cash getting cut. We'll see what happens when the dust settles, but super excited for what AEW will be able to do. Especially, I hope they can capitalize on the feeling from last night for this show and somehow channel that into their next, their next couple house shows, because the draw on the house shows, it's getting dark.
Yeah, they got lucky with the spike in ticket sales on this one, because at first Arthur Ashe looked like it wasn't going to be good at all, and then they kind of had a big swell towards the end, which is good. But the other thing I wanted to say about the Moxley thing is, all accounts are it's a concussion, which sucks. But my God, I thought he broke his neck. So
seriously,
I was happy that it wasn't that. Yeah. But then you also had Adam Cole, who's on crutches now.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that was totally his fault. That's 100% Adam Cole.
Yeah, when you mentioned that, I saw the article, multiple AEW wrestlers injured, and I was like, huh. And then when you named, I was like, wow. So, and Adam Cole, he's just coming back from that concussion from Forbidden Door 2. So hopefully his is just a sprain,
short-term
thing.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
like a little sprained ankle, and he'll be because they've got to defend the titles at Wrestle Dream. So hopefully, it's just a little sprain, and he'll be good to go. But when I watched him jump off the platform and immediately I said, oh. I said, he just effed his leg up a little bit somewhere, his ankle or his knee or something. So, been there, brother. I understand. But, yeah.
So say you were sitting in front of your favorite wrestler or sports entertainer, and they said whatever wrestler it was and whatever question you could ask them, whether it be AEW or WWE, what question would you ask what wrestler that's currently active on any roster? It doesn't have to be AEW or WWE. It could be Impact or Ring of Honor, whatever. What one question would you ask one wrestler, based on the way you're viewing wrestling now, and you're moderately you're not overcritical, but you analyze it a little bit differently because we talk about it much more. But what one wrestler would you ask that one question, and what would that question be to that one wrestler?
Oh, man. Talk about putting me on the spot.
Yeah. So here's mine, right?
Okay.
And, I have my drive to work in the morning is only 40 minutes. So I don't get a lot of time. I'll flip through. I'll listen to, What Culture. I'll flip around. Selfishly, I'll listen to ours and see, how we sound, and if we're saying ums and smacking. Usually it's me smacking. But the one question I would ask is something that hits me anytime I think about how excited I am to be going to WrestleMania. It would be Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. You're getting ready to head down to the ring. The decision has already been made. The pencil has already hit the paper. You're obviously going to get over, but you're not going over. What you're feeling, because you haven't been able to tell everyone, hey, Brandy, don't worry about it. He had a -1 with him. Starks, I think Starks was somewhere off camera, whatever. You can't tell everyone, but what was that feeling when the ref hit for 3 and you weren't going to finish your story because there was no guarantee what was going to happen with his story. And then you hear this stuff, Rock kind of go into business for himself. But yeah, I would ask Cody, hey, what were you feeling? And I would think answering that question, it would roll into, and we're talking about what I felt in April, laying there looking at the sky in SoFi compared to what I'm feeling right now. A lot of uncertainty, excitement because I'm in the WWE. This is my second WrestleMania back. And, how terrible is it that I just main evented night 2 of the most lucrative WrestleMania in WWE history, but I came out on the losing end. So I'd love to hear everything that went into it. He would probably go off on, some tangents like we do. And I wouldn't say a word. I'd just be like, oh, yeah. So that's the question, and that's the wrestler that I would ask it to.
So I think mine would be Eddie Kingston, and I would like to know, I guess he's already answered this, but how he's overcome all of his mental illness. Like, he's very public about he's dealt with depression and he's suffered through things, and I'd like to hear face-to-face conversation, like how he overcame and what it was that drove him and motivated him to kind of break through those barriers and what, because that guy, if you can hear, I think he was on Renee Paquette's show, one of those, and talked very in depth about mental illness and things he's gone through and, suicidal thoughts and all that. And I just would like to know, like, what the trigger was to make him go, no, I need to get better. I need to get healthy, and how he battles that, I'm sure, daily, like we all do. Not that I'm trying to, rep that tomorrow, we're going to go live on our 22nd show, but
what? Can't wait, baby.
But yeah,
check us out. 7 to 8 will be right here on Rumble and YouTube. Can't wait. We have a couple of guests in store. We won't pop them off until hopefully by the time we're done running tonight, we'll get confirmation. But super excited on what we got working. But I think, like you said, the Mad King, just his passion and love for the business. And
that's part of it, is like what keeps him going, because, he's got to get a little down in the dumps when all the talk is, oh man, they need to strap up Eddie Kingston, and then he gets shuffled off to a program and gets sent to Ring of Honor. And then he's getting up. So like, I'm just curious, like what he does to maintain and keep that going. So that would be who I'd like to talk to. I don't understand how this guy makes everything he does feel so damn real. It just blows my mind.
Dude, when he caught
Speaking
Claudio
of which, that
in
match
that
last
half
night
and
was
half,
phenomenal.
I've been putting off going to the chiropractor, and I'm going to book 2 appointments back to back, one for me and one for Claudio, because that half and half, how high he hits, and like we always talk about, like the difference in styles with AEW, WWE, and New Japan, and how AEW wrestlers and New Japan wrestlers can coexist. It's just heightening the AEW product just a little bit more, and I wish it would heighten the referees, but we can get into that. But the stiff, high, tight wrestling, I just think back, some of the wrestlers that we've lost over the years, how they would excel and how they did excel, like Owen, how he excelled in New Japan. He was a light heavyweight champion more than once, I know that. Hogan, when he was over in New Japan, this dude, you could think whatever you want, and I'm very selective on if and when I'm going to wear a Hulkster shirt. But the style that he brought to New Japan when he was pre-WWE, WWF, WWF, sort of hinging between I'm going to leave AWA, all the way down to he wore different gear. It was much darker. The way he moved, just so. But yeah, you mentioned Eddie Kingston. Shout out to him. First match of the night for Grand Slam right there in almost his hometown, and not that far from where our bastard is from. Our dirtbag is from MJF, right there in New York, and super, super cool. Good match. And, I liked how Claudio handed over the title, and it wasn't this like hallmark moment. It was just like, hey, here's my hand. You got me tonight. It may not be a done deal, and we have a new Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion in Eddie.
Yeah, I think it was kind of the end for now. Obviously, I think they'll probably push into other things. I was hoping we'd be getting the Moxley Eddie Kingston feud coming out of this, but obviously with Mox's injury, again, like we said at the beginning, hope he's fine. Hope it's a quick recovery. But it's going to be at least a couple months, I would assume, if it's a concussion, depending on the severity of it. But I mean, look at Adam Cole; he was out almost a year from a concussion.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's your strong point by you. Yeah, thank you.
So, yeah, I am curious. I don't want to see him just get pushed off to Ring of Honor, though. I'd like to see him on AEW more. But at the same time, like, I don't want to see the Ring of Honor belts all the time on AEW, because I think if you're going to try to push Ring of Honor, push them separately. Or if you're going to have the champions on AEW, then let's have the women's champion. I'd love to start seeing Athena in some matches on AEW. But I just hope.
Really cool. Did you see the upcoming match that Ring of Honor is going to be hosting an event? I'll flip through here and find it in a hot second. But Athena against Miss Love,
Angelina Love
from The Beautiful People. So that should be a lot of fun. I don't know if they've ever wrestled. Angelina Love, a multi-time Impact World Champion. She never competed, to my knowledge, in WWE. Not that that's anything either way. But she did compete in TNA and in Impact. And it was great to see them during the Impact 1000. Both her and Velvet Sky came out. That was a lot of fun. And they're going to be doing their episode tonight. Will be coming up for the 10 women tag team match. That's going to be freaking awesome. So check that out on Access T or wherever you get your Impact Wrestling. You can get it on impact.com, or you can get it subscription-wise from you. Speaking of subscriptions, do we know a group of fellas, blokes, if you will, maybe on the other side of the pond, that recently launched a podcast right here on YouTube?
Following in our footsteps. It's cool of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the What Culture guys.
Very exciting. Yeah, the What Culture brothers. Very cool. A little bit of rebranding. And they were talking about colors. They were going back and forth on this is for the Lakers. This is for Undertaker. This is
Mabel.
for Judgment Day. Yeah, King Mabel. So props to them. And I was watching the show last night, and I was just envisioning you watching the show. And I hope you feel like a proud moment, and not just because I came over being a WWE guy. And now here I am, more invested in wrestling than I thought, I would ever be. And I already thought I was pretty invested in wrestling. But you have to be very, very proud as a AEW faithful, outside of a couple of snafus from a referee, which, in honest, discussion, they've gotten much, much better over the last 5 years. And it's, you hold them accountable. You don't hold it over their head. You just say, hey, going forward,
do better.
It's 50-50. If he's not kicking out, you're counting 3. We're moving on, and we'll see you in, pick a city. But I hope you were feeling it, because I felt like this was a really good show. The crowd was they sort of went on the ride like we did watching the show, but it felt like the crowd was really into it, more so than some of the more recent AEW crowds. So I hope you were proud as an AEW faithful, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It was one of those dynamites that was really, really good. Now, I'm not going to say like, oh, man, they're back, because they need to do these in a string of them. Because every time I say, ooh, they're back, they will put on 2 turds. So, but it's funny. I was watching it last night, and I was tweeting back and forth with actually Michael Hamflet from What Culture. I dropped in his tweets a couple times because he stayed up live watching it. And if you follow their show, every time he stays up live, it's usually a bad raw dynamite. But it was good. And so I gave him like, oh, man, you just cursed it. But, and then friend of the show, Tony Allen, he and I were actually on WhatsApp talking like throughout the show.
Cool.
just about like, oh man, did you see that? Oh, and it was such a neat experience that I was like, we need to start live streaming this stuff, man. We need to like, I really want to do another pay-per-view where, you know, you're in your camera, I'm in my camera, and get Tony and hell, maybe my buddy Jeremy, and we got it on the TV and we could react to it live, because it was pretty neat going back and forth with them. And I wondered why you were so quiet, and then I realized that I was in our own separate chime and I didn't put it in the no shave one, but sorry about that. You were probably asleep anyway.
No, yeah, no, I appreciate the thought. Yeah, I was looking up at the ceiling fan about I don't know, I probably made it about half an hour, 45 minutes into the show, and I had to be in about 4 in the morning, so I shut her down. Two nights back to back, not really my thing, but we keep talking about tomorrow night, brother, and I really look forward to the show on the 22nd, and Mission 22 and Remember 22, very, very near and dear to our heart, and it means a lot to me that we, and especially you, take so much extra effort in getting this show put together. And I really hope that our brothers and sisters in arms and our veterans and just the fam, just our followers, check us out tomorrow night. We'll be we'll be live. We'll have a couple of guests, and it really means a lot. And when we're live streaming, hit us up in the Rumble. Let us know what you're thinking. Hit us with a random thought of a buddy. We'll shout them out. I'll talk about some of my brothers and sisters that we met. We've lost. My actual sister, unfortunately, took her life because of her mental wellness was not, to the same level. And you and I together have gone through a phenomenal, remarkable, amazing run and helped each other get over the hump through some stuff that, now me dealing with, all the personal stuff. I don't think I could if we weren't, connected the way we are, and I wasn't, where I am, and looking forward to.
We can't get emotional tonight.
So
That's
much,
tomorrow. We'll talk about the emotions.
Yeah, man. So we'll move on to the next emotional moment. The first match, phenomenal. The AEW faithful Excalibur was on point, and Taz, that guy, just freaking.
Did you hear
money.
him pop when he saw the camera hit the guy with his old T-shirt on? He like popped himself. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
There
we go.
It was a really good show from top to bottom. Like we don't really have time to break down every spot, but it was definitely one of those shows where I'm actually going to probably watch it again tonight when I'm editing this for the audio version on the podcast, because I want to watch the Mox match again, because now that I know everything that happened, I'm like, all right, let me see what I could pick up on. The MJF Samoa Joe match at the end was great, fantastic match. Every match was. I mean,
What do you think the negotiation was? There's just some moves that are so protected. The Tombstone, the Team 3D, Ric Flair's Figure 4, HBK's Super Kick, and now everybody does a Super Kick, and it's everybody gets a Super Kick, a la Oprah. But to kick out of damn Samoa Joe's muscle freaking buster.
I don't know that anybody's done that.
I don't know how, dude. I don't know how you feel or don't feel that you've made it. And, my man is, my dirtbag is only damn 27, 28 years old. And to say you've arrived at that age, and he's got I don't want to say 20 years, but he's got many years ahead of him. And as the career, as his career in the industry progresses, I would venture to say he's gonna show up in some movies and TV shows. And
he's already in one of the documentaries. He's got a part in, I want to say, the Von Erich show, the movie coming out about the Von Erichs.
Shit.
He's going to be in that already.
Okay.
Which is why he took time off a while ago when the LA and I'm quitting and all that. Yeah, he was out filming for that. But he, I say it all the time. I think he's probably everybody says generational talent. He is a generational talent. He is just, I think, he might be the top guy in the business right now. As much as I love Omega and Danielson and all those guys for their in-ring work, if you look at total package from promos to creativity to his mic skills and his in-ring skills, I think he's probably best one out there, total package wise, in any company. I think he's better than Cody. I think he's definitely better than Roman and Seth. And
All right, we got to cut to commercial. This is
no,
ridiculous.
man, I think
Cody, I am so sorry you had to hear that, sir.
Cody should be
no,
proud.
I
Cody
mean,
brought him
as
in.
far as
He's one of Cody's buddies. So
but yeah,
I
that's true.
think, and this whole storyline with Adam Cole and what he's doing to be a heel, but he's just our heel. It's such a unique, amazing, outside of the box thinking to go, well, I'm still going to be the asshole and I'm still going to cheat and I'm still going to all this other stuff, but you guys are going to cheer me. Like what? Like I think one of the coolest moments of the match was when he reached in his pants and was putting on the ring and he's looking right in the camera and he's just smiling. He's going, no, well, let's do it. People are cheering. I'm just, but it's just, I do. I think he's one of the best there is in the business right now. And I don't want to discount. There might be some indie guys out there that I don't know of or have watched a lot of. But as far as mainstream that we're seeing every day, and I know he teases the War of 24. Man, I hope he doesn't jump to WWE because I don't think he'll be as good there. Like, I don't think he'll have the freedom to say the things he does, and he won't be able to. He actually would probably be able to wrestle as much as he does now, probably less. But look at Roman. But I just think he's just so good, and like I just every time I see this character, like the promo he's cutting at the beginning when they pull up in the Maserati, and he's just going off, and then Adam leaves. He goes, "Wait, what?" Like totally switch. Like he's cutting this really heel, "I'm gonna murder you" promo, and then his buddy leaves. What? And then the Bret Hart.
Are you serious right now?
What? And then the Bret Hart callback to the little kid calling. That old, like, I immediately remembered that commercial. I was like, oh, I know what commercial this is. And then, you're adopted. Dad, what does adopted mean? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It was such a good show. And him, just, there was so much about that show. Like, the New Japan, or actually All Japan Pro Wrestling feel of the Claudio Kingston match where they come walking out, but it shows them walking in the background, coming out, And then you've got Samoa Joe when he came out with the callback to the security footage of when he pushed MJF. That was so great. He comes walking. I wanted him to push one of the security guards so bad.
I fucking love that.
I was like, they missed that. They should have had one of the security guards get in front of him, push him to the side like he did MJF. But the Roderick Strong stuff, this Dynamite was so good, it felt like a pay-per-view. Like today I'm talking about it, and I'm like, oh man, that was a great pay-per-view. Oh no, that was just a Dynamite. And if they could keep that going and continue to push like that, I think they're going to, like, we had a conversation with somebody off the air a couple days ago, just us BSing. And we were talking about, like, hey, AEW could be in trouble if they don't do certain things. Then I watched last night and I'm like, I felt guilty about saying those things because, what was I thinking? That was really good. I wouldn't go as far as saying, oh, this is the best Dynamite I've seen in years or the best Dynamite even this year. I think there were still some really good ones this year, but this was damn near close. It was up there from the caliber in the ring. We didn't even talk about the Saraya and Tony Storm match. I absolutely loved that match.
Dude, like the match aside, I love Saraya's character work that she's doing. The supporting actress award, if you could give out two, one would go to Ruby, one would go to Tony. Ruby acting just completely oblivious, like, oh, how could Tony act like this? How could Tony be like this? And then how Tony's acting like this, like, just, oh, God, the 30s Hollywood, just, oh, man, I can't get enough of this character. And I think, what do you think? Me personally, I think Saraya's going to hang onto the title for a minute until they decide what's going to happen with Jamie Hayter. Not that I don't want to see Tony with the world title, but I think it's going to be. I think she'll carry it for a minute. Saraya will, and I think Statlander will hold on to the international or the TBS title for a minute. And once the whole dust settles, and I want everybody to have a job. I want everybody to keep the lights on and put gas in the car and everything. But I just don't want Tony to go hire everybody. Let him go. Let him go to Japan. Let him go to AAA or Impact. I'd love to see Ziggler in Impact. And I'm not sure who from the women's roster are going to get released. But Impact is such an awesome product, and the rumor has it they're going to have a much, much better deal next year going forward. And I really hope everybody just takes that 90 days. So it's September 21st, 90 days. That would put us right around Christmas. We're going to roll into the new year. And now we're in WrestleMania season. And everybody's going to be kind of clamoring, jockeying for everybody's attention, especially in Philly, that whole damn month of April. So I think this is an fortunate circumstance for our superstars that were recently released.
Two things. The thing about Toni Storm, I love this character so much that I did not want her to win the title last night. Like, I want to see this continue on, and I think if she wins the title, it's like, I want to see this progress. And I agree. I think Saraya is going to hold it for a while, whether it's Jamie Hayter or a returning Thunder Rosa, or who knows who it could be. But I don't know. I think Thunder might be good to go after Chris Statlander. I think that would be a good pairing. I think you put Thunder in the ring with Saraya. No offense to Saraya, I think Thunder outshines her and might not be as good of a match.
On Sunday, and Saraya's been around for a minute, and she's wrestled in WrestleManias and done some great things. But you're right. I mean, I think the style of wrestling in AEW, the how they feed to the crowd. Twice on Sunday. That'd be awesome. That'd be a great picture. Her with the money shot, holding up the TBS championship. Not that I don't love Statlander. I wouldn't mind seeing the boop character come back a little bit from Statlander. But hey, if you could boop me whenever you get a second.
And then the other potential to take Saraya would be Monday when she's ready to come in. I think that would be. I kind of was hoping last night. I knew it wasn't going to happen. Because you hear all the rumors Edge might show up last night, or Adam Copeland or whatever he's going to go by, and I'm like, well, his 90 days isn't up yet. I don't even think his contract was up till September 1st, so he was going to show up, and I think Mercedes is still in a boot. So I'm like, well, neither of those happened, but it would have been cool. And then you had mentioned some of the releases, and I hope everybody gets a job. But there are a couple that I could see going to AEW. I think if Tony Khan was smart, he'd grab Dolph Ziggler. Mainly because his brother works there, so now you can put them together as a cool-ass tag team. You have the Hollywood Hunks, and they could do their own thing, and that'd be kind of cool. And I'd like to see Shelton Benjamin.
Oh, my God, I was so upset. Like, Shelton Benjamin, me personally, Shelton Benjamin is a prototypical WWE product. And why he wasn't paired with and hasn't been paired with the Alpha Academy is totally beyond me. I would love to see him in Impact as... some of the foil. I'd like to see him as a heel. I like heel Benjamin, but super unfortunate. But that's
I think AEW, but I think more of in a producer role. Well, I'd like to see him help structure matches and do it because he did a lot of that with WWE. And I remember thinking on some of the WWE matches I really liked, and you find out that he was one of the producers in the back on. So he's got a mind for the business. I think he'd be a good get. Those are the two that immediately struck out. And then Mustafa Ali, I think would be really good in AEW.
Really?
I just think it was ironic they released him after he went, 8-9 months begging to be released, and they wouldn't do it. And then they released him this time. I'm like, wow. But, I think he'd be a good get for, can you, him against Sammy Guevara or him in, you could put him on Ring of Honor even to go against Top Flight and those guys. Like, he'd be fun. He'd be a good get for AEW.
Yeah, I think he would have some really, really good matches in Impact. I think because he is relatively, MLW, him and MLW, with his style, he's not quite everything he does top rope, but their style is like from middle rope up, and I think he would really excel. I don't know that he has the chops to go to New Japan. But I'd like to see him go against the current regime over there with Bullet Club. And, if we're saying Bullet Club, that might actually be a lot of fun with him coming in as part of a faction going against Bullet Club Gold. Yowza. Maybe that could be the second part of the Outsiders or what Outcasts. I'm sorry, Outcasts.
I mentioned Guevara. What did you think of the Sammy Guevara Chris Jericho match?
I don't want to say I saw it coming, but just
The match or the aftermath?
yes, the aftermath. It was just like the way the match was
I
going.
did not.
Really.
I absolutely did not see Don Callis coming down. I don't know why. They did a really good job of hiding it from me because it totally makes sense in storyline mode, but I thought the match was decent. I thought there was a couple miscommunications and everything, which is fine, but Sammy Guevara is so smooth in the ring.
Oh man, that
I mean,
kip
God,
he does.
everything he does looks smooth.
That kip he does as he
Yeah.
slides up, he's just like,
The Spanish fly.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
The moonsault. All that is just really slick. And then the hug. And then I figured, okay, well, we'll see the heel turn for one of them, which we did. I did not expect Callis to walk out, though. I figured the heel turn, yes. Man, it blew me away. I was like, all right, I did not see that coming, and it's really awesome. And then the backstage segment with them walking by
Garcia.
and Garcia getting his face saying, no, he's money. He's money.
Dude,
Yeah, I was
that's
like, oh,
the freaking
no.
rub right there. I saw, I would say probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it might have been even on a comment that was made on Rampage or Collision. It wasn't even on Dynamite. And something, and I'll go back through, I'll find the clip. Don Callis said something that reminded me of what Guevara had just said. And I was like, well, damn. And who doesn't want to see Guevara against Osprey? And, just where's, give me a checkbook and, damn. Speaking of checkbooks, there's a bit of a delay with processing passports right now. And if you are one who is going to be in need of a passport over the next 180 to 270 days, I would do what you have to do. Oh, I have my birth certificate. I have my $150, whatever. Hurry up, get your appointment, go over to Walgreens or wherever you're going to get your passport photo. There is a huge delay with processing unless you have a no kidding international issue. Like if you're about to get on a cruise in 24 hours and you're in Fort Lauderdale, there is an office in Fort Lauderdale that will process your passport overnight. And I think so definitely start getting your stuff together. Tiff and I, we're going to go get ours updated. Mine expires within. I think mine's coming close, so we're gonna go make sure ours is ready to go. Because what's coming up? What's coming up next year? What do we got going on next?
Man, I'm hoping we get another All In over in the UK, and I would definitely like to go to that for sure.
Yeah, I think there's going to be
some other things that may be in the works, but we won't talk about those until they're firm. I'd like to do All In again.
There's some other international events coming up to our brothers and sisters who have never been to Australia. Please make every effort you can. WWE's taking their superstars over to Australia. AEW will be making another international trip, and Impact just got back from Australia, and they're going to be putting a trip together overseas again. So definitely want to get your stuff all in one bag. You got about a year before our next all-in, all-out week, and would hate anyone miss it if they're interested in hitting it up. Hit it up.
Yeah, for sure. Last thing I want to talk about before we wrap this one up was the Roddy Strong stuff. I absolutely love everything Roderick Strong is doing right now. He's in the hospital bed. Just go at him. I laughed out loud that the dog came running in to see what I was laughing at. Everything he's doing, like that whole storyline with MJF and Adam Cole and the Matt Taven with the prayer beads like over him. I was dying. It was so good. Yep. Such a great storyline going on. Like goofy, dumb, silly stuff, but I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Goofy wrestling for life, as Simon Miller says. Like it was great. And man, it was just a really good Dynamite, top to bottom. The bad stuff that happened aside, like that obviously puts a damper on the show itself. Because you never want to see anybody get hurt or anything like that. But and after that, like every match after that, I'm like, oh no, don't, oh no. So and then the whole time you're thinking, oh God, I hope Mox is okay. I hope he's okay. But so that dampened it a little bit, which is probably I'll watch it again and get a better feel for it. But I I thought that was a good show. It was definitely a showing of what AEW can do when they put their minds to it. Like I said, we talked off air. I think Tony Khan needs a buffer, someone that's not a yes man to him, because I think if he could focus on one show and do that every week, they will eventually beat WWE. I mean, they will. It might take a year, 3 years, 6 years, but the wishy-washy where one show's good, 3 shows are bad isn't going to do. And you're not going to get butts in seats if you can't continue to push a product like last night. And they pushed a product. They pushed matches that people got emotionally involved in, and that's the key to all of it. If you can drive the emotion, you drive the fans, whether the wrestling is 5 out of 5 stars or 3 out of 5 stars. If you're emotionally invested into it, it's going to feel good. And that's what last night, I think, did. And that's what last night showed that AEW can do, is draw that emotion out of you. Because every one of those matches last night, I was like, yeah, all right. I had every emotion last night. Even some during the Saraya and Tony kiss that was a little uncomfortable, but every emotion.
That's a 12-step. That's a 12-step program right there. But no, so like you're sitting here talking about like, you know, every match and, you know, how you were emotionally involved. The segments that we have talked about the most didn't even involve a match, you know, like Don Callis coming out and, you know, his handle on X or Twitter is the Invisible Hand. So you're like, ooh, man, this guy's got his fingerprints. Garcia, no, this kid's money. So are we going to see something? Jake Hager just retired from Bellator. Bellator is trying to find a buyer. Is AEW going to buy Bellator? Is, you know, someone else was rumored to buy. So like there's all this other stuff, and, you know, you're like, oh, wow, this is super interesting. And, you know, we're sitting here in hysterics about a non-wrestling part. So AEW hit for this, if for our fantasy football fans, you know, you have offense, defense, and special teams. And offense would be, you know, some of the fantastic matches that we saw. The defense would be, you know, how we had some of our defending champions. You know, they did, you know, some of the champions, they weren't able to defend their championships. You know, a couple of titles changed hands, and, you know, any given Sunday, you know, it's awesome. Then special teams, we got everything going on in the back. And the work that is going on in the back, just, man, I'm totally feeling it. And if anyone who has a wrestling company, AEW, WWE, MLW, NXT is doing it now too. Renee Paquette is the freaking prototype. She is like exactly what you want for backstage, in between matches, after matches, before matches, not even having to do with the matches. But they do a freaking hilarious pre-show thing that they do on their live stream and on YouTube. Man, straight money. And I couldn't be like, yeah, that was a phenomenal show. I gave it the old 4 beardo, and you know, I really hope that, you know, everything, it looks like Mox is going to be good to go, and they'll be able to, you know, continue on with another program for him. And if Ray Phoenix, they pivot and, you know, take the international title a different direction. But really a lot of fun show. And like you said, you went through the whole entire spectrum. And, man, yeah, great women's match. Just a couple title. I love seeing titles change. I think it's awesome. One was unfortunate. One was very, very deserving. And shout out to the Mad King, your new Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion.
Mr. Sidgwick calls it the trifecta, and you need to hit the trifecta, which is match quality, in-ring promos, and then storytelling. And they hit it last night. They hit the storytelling, they hit the promos in the back, and then they hit the match quality. So really good show. I went 4.5. Really dug it. Yeah, it was strong for me.
Good for you. Dude, that's awesome.
Really impressed with it. Very good.
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't remember if it was from last night or what, but the Orange Cassidy Hook tag team thing that they're building. I so badly want their name to be tag team. Like, that's it. Because, you know, Orange Cassidy and Hook, lazy, whatever. So instead of like coming out with like Orange Squeeze or Hook the Orange, I just want them to be called tag team. Like, what's your guys' name? Tag team. Okay. And I want the board to just say tag team or generic tag team. I don't know. I just think that'd be great.
Or insert name.
Yeah, insert name tag team.
Or
yeah.
text box.
Yeah.
Just text box.
Because, I never thought those would be two people I want to see paired together. I cannot wait.
Buy that shirt right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just a blank white shirt with his text box tag team.
I was,
Fantastic.
previously I would pick up on one-liners around where I used to work at, and one of the one of the comments that were floating around for a little while was, "Where's my sandwich?" So I had a T-shirt. I had a few T-shirts made because a couple of folks were there when it happened, and I went. I had these T-shirts made, and I don't know if you've seen the clips of the Savannah Bananas. It's a minor league baseball team in Savannah, Georgia, and they are one of the funniest, most entertaining tickets in town. And so I bought myself a Savannah Banana hat, and it's taken like 2.5 weeks to get because they've been sold out. And I'm putting a thing together for my team. We're gonna go to Savannah, and dude, the excitement level of me trying to get tickets and get everything together to go see the Savannah Bananas is like not quite where I was when we were getting ready to go to like Forbidden Door, or even when we went to go do the first big pay-per-view post-COVID at right there in Daly's. But it's pretty freaking damn close. And I really, really encourage all of our followers, all of our fam, if you're a wrestling fan, you got to check this AEW product out and get invested and just shut your brain off. Go with that suspended belief, and you will not be disappointed. The stride that I feel like AEW is about to hit is going to be freaking phenomenal. They're post all their BS stuff, and if this show in New York was a telltale sign of what is about to come, shit, man, they are about to take off.
And the other thing to do is shut off your tribalism. Don't look at it and compare it to WWE.
Hell yeah.
You got to shut all that off and just enjoy it as a wrestling fan. So, or a sports entertainment fan, because they got sports entertainment too. But yeah, you just got to go and enjoy it and just enjoy wrestling. Go check out all of it. I'm a huge wrestling fan. What do you mean? Oh, I watch WWE. Okay, so you're a WWE fan. Yeah. If you're a wrestling fan, go watch wrestling. And there's nothing wrong. If you're just a WWE fan, that's fine. But don't argue with people because they like something else. Anyway, I won't go off on that tangent. But if you do want to argue with us, do it in the comments below. Hit us up on Twitter.
Heck yeah.
No Shave Man Cave. Please like, share, subscribe. We go live every Tuesdays and Thursdays, usually 6, sometimes 7. We're also doing a special show tomorrow night on the 22nd, a live show where we're going to discuss mental health. Probably, more than likely, there'll be some wrestling talk, but mostly it's mental health. So please check us out there. It is our most important and probably favorite show to do. So absolutely mass participation. Like you said earlier, if people want to get on and watch it and want to shout out things or ask questions that we can try to answer, we will. It's kind of getting there. Like you said, we got 2 guests tomorrow. I've got a couple guests lined up for next month and the month after. So we'll have some pretty good conversations because I'm sure they're getting tired of hearing our same stories over and over again. But again, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that little bell notification wherever it is so you get notified when we go live so you don't miss the show. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know how we did. Follow us on X, Threads, Instagram, whatever else it is. No Shave Man Cave. If you want to get in touch with us, email us, noshavemancave@gmail.com. We appreciate every single one of you. And with that, man, go ahead and take us out.
Boom, boom, boom. Bump and feed to my guy, Jay Tilley. All the work you're doing behind the scenes, I don't think, words could put it into the right perspective. Go check us out on our YouTube channel. All of that work that's being done is straight up Jay Tilley. Super appreciate it. I am a absolute novice when it comes to thumbnails. He's been killing it. So shout out, good stuff there. Appreciate all of our brothers and sisters in arms and their service to our amazing country. Thank you so much. Hurry up, get your ass home. you're needed back here. Until next time, my friends, my fam, we love you. Thanks for checking us out. Keep doing what you do. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we'll see you on the floor.
You've been listening to the No Shave Man Cave.
If it's pro wrestling, we're talking about it. Unless we see something shiny and wander off into the woods. If you hang around long enough, we'll eventually come back. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Fire off your comments and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at No Shave Men Cave. Y'all be cool. And we'll see you next time on the floor.